Hello, everyone. I'm James, the Executive Director of Frameline, and thank you so much for joining us for the final Q&A of our Frameline44 Pride Showcase. I just wanted to say that for me, it's been a wonderful 4 days. I've really enjoyed sharing all the movies with you, and I'm just so proud of our team for putting this amazing showcase together in quite extraordinary circumstances. I really hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I really wanted to make sure that you join us again this coming fall for a longer version just like this. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to do Frameline44 in full. In the meantime, we're here for Stage Mother, and I would just like to bring all of the different actors and director and screenwriter to the screen, and if I could have them all introduce themselves and let us know what their role with the film is.
Oh, my turn. Hello. I'm Jacki Weaver. I play the stage mother.
Hi, I'm Jackie B. I play Dusty Muffin.
I'm Tom Fitzgerald, and I'm the director of the film.
Hi, I'm Maya Taylor. I play Cherry.
Hi, I'm Brad Hennig. I'm the writer-producer.
Excellent. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're so pleased. And a lot of our community has watched the film. I can tell from the comments that they loved it. So congratulations. It's very exciting. I might just start with Tom. I just really wanted to know what attracted you to this role. You didn't write this one. What is it that made you insist that this is the film you must do next?
It was, of course, the screenplay, which was sent to me by Brad and his producing partner, Laurie LeCobb in San Francisco. I found it to be, a really moving story. Also struck my funny bone very nicely. Reminded me of a classic Hollywood women's picture from the Joan Crawford era. And to be honest, I had recently lost my brother when I read it. And it really spoke to me on that heart level as well, because I got to see my own mom getting to know my brother on a deeper level after he had passed. So I felt I could bring some understanding to what Maybelline goes through.
That's amazing. And you've put together a really great A-list cast for this film as well. What a dream come true. What was that like?
Well, every day was a blessed joy on Stage Mother. I met Jackie in New York City for a blind date, and we started with breakfast, and I think she kept me drunk for 3 days, and as a result, I love her very much to this day.
And how about finding Lucy Liu and Adrian Grenier and all of the other amazing people, including Maya and Jackie, who we've got on screen?
Well, I know Lucy for many years because we worked together on another film called Three Needles in about 2005, and so I know her quite well through that. And although I think the public gets to see her as doctors and lawyers and kick-ass martial artists a lot, to me she's always a pretty ditzy blonde type. So I felt like she had a lot to bring with her sharp tongue and bubbly personality to the role of Sienna. I don't know Adrian. I didn't know Adrian before we did the film, and I think he also brought a lot. It was very meaningful to the whole production. Jackie Beat was one of several legendary drag icons who agreed for the role, and Jackie has an actual acting background, I think, which made all of the difference. Maya, I just really wanted to work with Maya because she's amazing. So we reached out, and she came up to Halifax and joined our summer camp family, which turned to a winter camp family because it was Canada.
Of course, it would have been freezing. I might just jump to Jacki Weaver then. I know you've got a very long connection to the LGBTQ plus community. I know you've got a very funny chapter title for one of your autobiography. And I've read a few very amusing articles this week where you've said some pretty incredible gay terminology. So you've got a long connection there. And I'd love to talk to you about what brought you onto this role and what made you decide to be the stage mother.
Well, all credit to Brad's screenplay. I thought it was very touching, and it tells a story that I think hasn't been told often enough about parents of LGBTQ people and how they deal with it, and the sort of understanding that's required. We've come a long way. 30 years ago, it was much harder. I think it's still hard for many. I have this fantasy that some young people who haven't come out to their parents will take them to see this film, and it might make it a bit easier for them. But it's true. I've been part of the gay community in. I'm just a boring old straight woman, but I've been part of the community in Sydney for more than 50 years. And I've been called a gay icon by many people in the newspaper and so on. I'm just a silly old fag hag, and it's a huge part of my life. And to be able to tell a story that's so close to my heart was really important.
That's absolutely wonderful. And tell us about finding your inner Texan mum.
Well, I'm kind of diametrically opposed to her. You know, I'm a wild woman. I've been married 5 times. I drink lots of gin. I used to teach Sunday school, but that's about the only similarity with the real, with the character. But I think it's universal. When you've been a parent, you understand what unconditional love is, and I identified with her on that. And the sorrow she must have felt to be years and years estranged from this boy that she had adored. I love the flashbacks that Tom and Brad have incorporated, showing how much they loved each other and what a joy their life was together. And she's got that stodgy husband too, a domineering sort of conservative husband, and so I really felt a lot of empathy for her, even though I'm kind of different.
Yeah. And I know you've an amazing actor for many years and stage and screen, but how was it performing the big song at the end? Any nerves?
Well, I've got a gold record, you know.
Yes.
I have to keep saying that. Yeah, I haven't sung for a while, and I've done musicals and I've made albums, and yeah, it was good fun. It was kind of hard work, but it was good fun. I enjoyed it. I just hate that song.
I think you've just offended the entire gay community now.
I think it seems to be the song that everyone sings at karaoke who can't sing. Don't you think so, Jacki B? I've noticed that.
Yep.
So speaking of Jacki B, you look incredible today, and I hear you dressed up just for us.
I did, of course I did.
You look amazing. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what attracted you to the role, and also a bit about the auditioning process and being on set?
Well, I have to be honest, I don't audition a great deal. A lot of people I know, occasionally somebody will write a part and say, oh, I wrote this for you. And I'm just terrible walking into a room and trying to make somebody love me. My entire career and persona is the complete opposite of that. Not exactly lovable, but I remember it was it was one of those film yourself on your iPhone and send it in. And I remember being backstage performing at a club with my friend Sherry Vine. We were in Rehoboth Beach. And I was like, oh God, should I even bother with this? I never get these parts, you know how you are when you're, kids. It's a lot. Anyway, and to Sherry's credit, she's like, bitch, just do it. You're not in a place where you can turn down any opportunity. So we just did it, and it just something kind of clicked. First of all, we were in a dressing room at a drag club, and that's what the scene was. So I just put it out there, and something clicked. Now, I heard a rumor that when it was written, it was sort of supposed to be a Jackie Beat type, and then they were like, well, maybe Jackie will audition. So I don't know if that's the truth, but I like to think of, that's similar to B. Arthur and the Golden Girls. They wanted a B. Arthur type. But what really drew me to it was appearing in drag, out of drag, being bitchy, but showing that even people who, there are queens of a certain age and of a certain generation. That's how we express affection, by being bitchy. Honey, I wouldn't make a joke about you if I didn't love you, because it's a lot of energy. So I liked that it was in drag, out of drag, very campy, funny, bitchy, but ultimately we had a lot of heart.
Yeah, it definitely had it all. And it would have been great being on set with all those talented people as well. There's just so many icons.
And, they're amazing people, and then they just turn out to be total sweethearts, and you feel an instant connection. And that's the hardest part of making any movie, is that you become a family and you love everybody, and then it's like, bye.
Indeed.
Here we are again.
Yes. And speaking of sweethearts, Maya, we've loved your career for so long. You've done some amazing things. Tell us a little bit about, what attracted you to this role and joining the cast, and what was it like being on set?
My manager called me, and normally he'll email me, all these different projects. So when I got the call, I knew it was something serious. And then my agent called me, Joanne at ICM, and I normally don't hear from her unless it's something really, really serious. So they said, look, we have the script that we want you to read and see if you like it. The director would like to speak to you and this and that. And I was just like, okay, let me take a beat, take a Jackie beat, and and read the script. And I read it, and it spoke to me because, see, I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandmother, unfortunately, she passed before my transition, but she was there for me coming out, and it wasn't that great. So, so I could relate to the film. As far as working on the film, I thought it was like the most professional and well put together project, and just that I'd ever been a part of. I mean, I've worked with some really great directors and writers and everything, but this really won my heart over. And if I could do it again, I really would. I had so much fun. Like just coming in, there's corsets here and makeup here, and it was a lot. It was a lot. I really loved it. I would definitely do it again.
I'm glad you had such a good time.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure we got a moment or two with Brad. So I'm just going to bring him up on screen, and I'm going to make sure that I ask him a little bit about the story. Why did what made you write this particular story? Why San Francisco? Tell us a little bit about what made you, embark on this journey.
Well, the idea for the story came from my Facebook feed, actually. It was just before Trump was elected, and I grew up in the rhinestone of the buckle of the Bible Belt in rural Texas, and a town much like the one depicted in the movie. And I now live in San Francisco. And so on any given day, my Facebook feed, you would see these back-to-back posts of people that I grew up with who are Trump-supporting evangelicals, with my left-wing liberal friends here in San Francisco, a lot of whom are drag queens. And I would see these posts, and I noticed the similarities of these church ladies, at a church supper, and then a night out at a drag club, how similar the drag queens kind of look to the Texas church ladies. But then I also noticed that there was a sense of family in both of those. You know, the church sort of served as a family, and a club often does that for people here. And so I decided I wanted to write something to marry those two worlds. And I'd also already decided that I wanted to write a lead role for a woman of a certain age, so that we could have a fabulous actress like Jacki Weaver in the leading role instead of the supporting role. And boy, was that the right move. She is so phenomenal in the movie. Every single person who sees it, and it's the first thing they text me is that, wow, Jacki Weaver is amazing in it. So I think I'm going to write only roles for women over 60.
It is great when a 2-time Academy Award nominee can, deliver your vision. What was it like really seeing the final product? You must have seen it before today. You must be so happy.
Well, I was a producer, so I've seen it about 100 times. But luckily, Tom was such a sane. I've made a movie before. It's my second film, and this was such a better experience for me because, I had confidence in Tom from day one that he would deliver something great, and he did. And all of the actors really liked him. So that that makes for a great experience, and so I wasn't surprised when I ended up liking the finished film. Of course, post-production is a tedious, painstaking process, so it took us a while to get there, but it's great to see it now.
I'll just wait. Yeah, we go. I just wanted to ask just one more question while I've got you all. We obviously also had Lou and Adrian on set. Do you want to dish any dirt on them just because they're not here? Is there anything you'd like to say?
I'll say one thing about Adrian, and that is he brought his dog to set every day. And, as the single mother of 2 little fur babies, that's the reason I never want to leave town or do anything, because I love my dog. So having quality time with Pip was really great. And I guess Adrian's kind of cute too.
The dog was adorable. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
Lucy Lou was an absolute darling. I haven't got any dirt to dish on her, but she was fabulous.
Well, just make it up, Jacki. This is a drag.
But she was great. And
I will say Lucy Lou was also shooting her television show Elementary, so she was quite heroic because she would fly up to Canada on Fridays and back to New York on Sundays so she could report to set on Elementary on Mondays. It was we were really lucky, and she was very kind to work so hard to be in our little film.
I'll say this about Lucy too. I wrote the character as a blonde, and it was sort of a colorblind role. I didn't write it as any ethnicity. And she sort of volunteered with Tom to dye her hair blonde for the role, which, we did not insist on that. And I think it kind of added a lot. I love seeing her in a completely different role than we're used to seeing her in.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was very committed about that. Yeah.
Brilliant. So I'm going to throw to some audience questions right now, and I encourage anybody watching to make sure you comment in any of the platforms you're watching this in, and I'm going to read out as many as I can. And I've got one lined up already, which I think feels maybe best answered by Brad, which is, I wonder where and when exactly the movie is supposed to take place.
Well, it's supposed to take place in San Francisco, and I think I wrote it, as I said, the year that Trump was running for office, so in 2015. I tried not to put in politics with it because I think that could have taken over the story, especially since I despise Trump myself. So that would have been difficult for me to write that in a balanced way, so I left that out of it. So I think sort of, current times-ish is sort of how I define it. Relative to the last 5 years, I think it would take place.
Okay. Another question from the audience is about the costumes, letting us know what you all thought about them and which ones you loved. And it can be some of the drag costumes, but maybe also the Texas mom costumes. What did you all think?
Those corsets, let me tell you. Okay, so in the film, I've lost about 36 pounds. I have been exercising and working and all this and that. So I'm a lot thinner than I was in the film. I wanted to look snatched for the gods. And we had the 2 costume people, and do you remember the scene in the Titanic where Rose is getting her corset put on and the mom's just pulling it really tight? Well, I forgot the name of the costume person, but it was the guy.
Jim Worthen.
Jim. Since he was stronger than her, I had him to put his knee into my back and pull the corset. And then I could feel it pinching a nerve in my spine. I was like, it's okay though. It's okay though. I look snatched. I look nice and good and everything, but it was great. Like everything it was all custom done and just fit for my body. Like I really loved it. And that little cherry outfit. Oh, they did amazing with that. I thought it was so adorable.
It's been more than a year and I still find glitter in the darndest places.
Welcome to our world.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I brought all my own costumes because I have a lot. And so I just brought a bunch of options. And I do remember, yeah, I was a little nervous because, you know, when you're a big girl, you want to wear big hair. And so some of my wigs weren't big enough in my, you know, monster ego opinion. So I remember, you know, the makeup artist, Chris, she was like, I'm going to hook you up. And she just picked up her phone, beep, beep, beep. And some local drag queen was like, anything you need. So thank God we all are truly a family in that way.
Yeah, you know, the makeup artist, Chris Cochran, and the costume designer, Jim, are both drag artists themselves. And I think having that kind of understanding of the drag world was a great big part of everybody's experience making the film.
That's great. And I've got a question for the 2 Jackies. How did you understand, like, what did you give each other nicknames on set so you weren't confused by having the same first name?
I just called her Bit.
Perfect response.
I mean,
I don't remember that happening. I just assumed if Tom had a note, you know, that it was for her because
you were perfect every time.
God, I hope people know I'm joking. I don't remember nicknames, no.
And Tom, I've got a question here, which is about when the film is going to be out for everyone to see it in America and around the world.
Yeah, the film is being released by Momentum Pictures, which is Entertainment One, and it's going to be a day-and-date release, so in theaters, to whatever extent theaters are open, and streaming on August 21st.
Amazing, that's great. And I've got a question here for Maya. It says that they love you, and what can we see you in next?
Right now, nothing really. I had a project that I was supposed to do, and then they ended up changing some stuff in the script, and I kind of didn't fit in it. So I got the boot, and I was supposed to be the star of it.
Well,
you know, it happens. It's show business, you know? Sometimes that happens.
The project started about attractive people, and then they changed it to unattractive people.
It's a hard question right now because nobody in show business is working at the moment.
it is.
You know, outside of this work, I'm actually a nurse, so I'm constantly taking care of people every single day. So I guess the problem that we have in the world didn't really affect me, but it's kind of scary. But I get tested every single week, and it's a lot. It's really a lot.
Yeah. And what was it like filming in Nova Scotia?
Oh, that was fun. It was beautiful. I think it rained on a few days too. And then
It's
outside of
fun.
the hotel room, like I could just see the water. It was stunning, just really stunning.
It's gorgeous.
It was really nice, and it's so funny that Maya mentioned the Titanic, you know, in regards to, because there's a Titanic museum, and because I guess they brought survivors to Halifax, and so I was thrilled to see that. It was very, very emotional and interesting. So there was a lot there to do.
There are more bars per capita than almost anywhere else in North America.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. I had to move around. My Mac was going to die.
And happily, for the last 3 weeks now, Nova Scotia is COVID-free. There are 0 cases.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah.
Amazing. I've got a question here, which is for everybody. We can take it in turns, but what is your favorite scene and why?
I know what mine is. It's that lovely actress who played the mother of Oscar. What's Oscar's character's name?
Tequila.
And she was beautiful in that scene where I tell her, you know, you've got to forgive him or you'll lose him like I lost my boy. I thought she was wonderful. I love that scene. Well, she's a lovely actress, Tom.
Blaine Carew.
Yeah, she's really good.
I think I wasn't privy to the fact. I mean, obviously, I read the script, but I didn't see, you know, the shooting of any of the flashbacks. And I just thought the flashbacks were so beautiful. And I have to say, I just watched it before, and I'm wearing a lot of makeup. And I was like crying, and crying does not go with this. But I think the flashbacks were particularly beautiful because the relationship between a gay son and a mother is just something so special. And without going overboard, it just was very subtle, and they really captured it. You know, just the innocent beauty of a mother and a son, and especially a gay son. And it really got to me. And you see those scenes and you know what's going to win out in the end.
For me, I'd say the performances. I don't know, it's just, I sing. So, you know, that's very, very special to me. On the other side of acting, of course. And just, I don't know, I feel like I just came alive. I love the song where it goes, that's him at the other end of the bar. Oh, I love that song.
You got to sing more. You're good.
I want to. I really do, but I'm just so busy right now.
Take care of people.
Yeah.
I loved making all the musical numbers. That was really the most fun part of the show. I think the scene that touches me the most is between Joan and Maybelline when she stops in with the chicken soup to Joan's apartment, and they talk about Joan's loneliness. I felt like
Alice did
lovely job. Yeah.
And I have to name two because I'm the writer. One is the diner scene with Jacki and Lucy, because that scene, if it's not delivered properly and the jokes don't land, it doesn't work. And they delivered it so much better than I wrote it, and it was I just loved it. I still love it. And then something that Tom added that I did not write that moves me more than anything in the film is the scene with Jacki in the Uber riding home from after spending the night with the Joan character. It's just it's luminous, the way that he filmed that, and Jacki's so beautiful in it.
Okay. It's we've hit our time limit. So I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody. We so appreciated hearing from you, and I know that our audience just loved the film. So thank you so much for joining us. I really, really do appreciate it.
Thank you for screening it.
No, we're very, very happy. And I just wanted to quickly also say a thank you to some of the sponsors who made this particular film happen for us, which was Gilead Sciences and also the Australian Consul General of San Francisco, yes, and Austrade, who've been absolutely great. So thank you everybody so much. We're going to wrap this up, and everybody who's watching, please tell your friends about Stage Mother and make sure it's seen by as many people as possible.
Thank you. Thank you.